Imagine standing beneath a starlit sky, feeling the gentle pull of the cosmos. Right now, the Saturn and Venus conjunction is unfolding above us, a celestial dance that mirrors the challenges and opportunities within our spiritual paths. This alignment isn't just an astronomical event. It's a call to reflect, to grow, and to navigate life's deeper truths. Have you ever felt the tension between wanting ease and comfort, while knowing you're meant for something greater? This conjunction amplifies those inner conflicts. It tests your resolve, but also offers profound potential for transformation. Are you ready to step into this moment with mindfulness and purpose? In this video, we'll explore the 8 spiritual pitfalls heightened by this cosmic event, from chasing external validation to falling into the trap of quick fixes. These challenges aren't just theoretical. They're the crossroads we face daily. But don't worry, we'll also uncover practical tools and timeless wisdom, inspired by Buddhist philosophy, to help you turn these challenges into stepping stones for growth. Your spiritual journey is uniquely yours, but its impact expands when shared. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who's also navigating their spiritual path. Your thoughts matter. 2. Drop a comment below, sharing how this celestial event resonates with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, Luminous Vein. Here, we explore the intersections of cosmic alignments, spiritual wisdom, and practical guidance to inspire transformation. Now, let's delve into the mysteries of the Saturn and Venus conjunction. Trust me, what you're about to discover has the potential to transform not just how you approach this alignment, but your entire spiritual journey. Venus's influence during this conjunction can feel like a warm embrace. It pulls you into a realm where indulgence appears not only enticing but essential. It's as if the universe wraps you in a comforting illusion. It whispers that another slice of cake, another hour scrolling through your phone, or even an impulsive relationship will provide the satisfaction you seek. Yet, this comfort is deceptive. What Venus offers during this alignment is not nourishment for the soul. Instead, it is a temporary distraction, a fleeting pleasure that ultimately deepens the void within. In Buddhist philosophy, indulgence is often likened to drinking salty water to quench thirst. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. This metaphor perfectly encapsulates the dynamic at play during this conjunction. Venus invites you to indulge in worldly comforts. It promises relief or happiness, but these desires are insatiable. The act of overindulgence not only takes you further from spiritual clarity, it also creates attachments that bind you to the cycle of suffering. These attachments, whether to food, people, or material comforts, keep you tethered to the samsaric wheel. They prevent the liberation of the mind and spirit. Think about how often you turn to distractions for comfort. Perhaps you've experienced moments where a mindless scroll through social media seemed harmless. Or maybe an evening spent binge-watching television felt like relaxation. But afterward, instead of feeling rejuvenated, you're left with an emptiness, a nagging sense that something essential is missing. These moments of realization are pivotal. They are the gentle nudge of awareness. They remind you that temporary pleasures are not the path to lasting peace or fulfillment. This Venus-Saturn conjunction is an opportunity to awaken to these patterns. Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility, offers a counterbalance to Venus's allure. It encourages you to step back, observe your actions, and question their true purpose. Are these indulgences feeding your soul or merely numbing it? This is not about rejecting pleasure outright. It's about discerning its place and purpose in your life. When pleasure becomes a means of escape rather than a celebration of life, it loses its spiritual value. Buddhist teachings emphasize the middle path. This is a way of life that avoids the extremes of self-indulgence and self-denial. During this celestial alignment, the middle path becomes a guiding principle. It teaches us to enjoy life's pleasures with mindfulness and moderation. This ensures that they enhance rather than detract from our spiritual journey. For instance, savoring a meal mindfully is vastly different from mindlessly overeating. The former aligns with spiritual growth, while the latter perpetuates suffering. One of the most profound lessons of this period is the realization that true comfort arises from within. In moments of temptation, pause and turn inward. Ask yourself, what am I truly seeking? Often, the answer is not the pleasure itself, but the feeling it promises to bring. Feelings like peace, happiness, or connection. However, these feelings cannot be found externally. They are cultivated through inner work and self-awareness. Mindfulness becomes your greatest ally during this conjunction. By practicing mindfulness, you create a space between impulse and action. This allows you to choose responses that align with your higher self. For example, when you feel the urge to overindulge, take a few deep breaths. Ask, is this action serving my highest good? This simple practice can transform your relationship with temptation. It turns it into an opportunity for growth rather than a setback. It is also important to reflect on the role of intention in your actions. The Buddha taught that intention is the foundation of karma. When you act out of craving or avoidance, you create karmic imprints that perpetuate dissatisfaction. But when your actions are rooted in wisdom and compassion, they lead to liberation. During this Venus-Saturn alignment, examine the intentions behind your indulgences. Are they driven by a genuine need for nourishment and connection? Or are they attempts to escape discomfort? Another layer to consider is the impact of indulgence on your relationships. Venus's energy may amplify desires for validation and connection, but these desires can manifest in unhealthy ways. This includes seeking approval or clinging to relationships that no longer serve your growth. Reflect on whether your connections are based on mutual respect and authenticity, or are they rooted in dependency and fear? Saturn's influence can help you set healthy boundaries. This ensures that your relationships support your spiritual journey rather than hinder it. This period also invites you to explore alternative sources of comfort and fulfillment. Instead of turning to external distractions, engage in practices that nourish your spirit. Meditation, journaling, and spending time in nature are powerful ways to reconnect with your inner self. These practices provide a deeper sense of peace. They also strengthen your ability to resist temptations that do not serve your highest good. Ultimately, the seduction of comfort and indulgence during this Venus-Saturn conjunction is a test. It challenges your spiritual awareness and discipline. It asks you to discern between fleeting pleasures and lasting fulfillment. Choose the path of mindfulness over the pull of impulse. By navigating this test with intention and wisdom, you can transform Venus's alluring energy. It becomes a catalyst for profound growth. You align more closely with your true self and spiritual purpose. Venus's comforting energy during this conjunction may feel like an invitation to let go. It may seem like a time to allow the universe to take the reins entirely. It's easy to fall into the mindset of, if it's meant to be, it will happen, believing that faith alone will guide you toward your destiny. While faith is undoubtedly a cornerstone of spiritual practice, Saturn's influence offers a stark reminder. True growth requires effort, discipline, and active participation in shaping your reality. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of right effort is central to the Eightfold Path. This guiding framework for liberation from suffering emphasizes intentional, mindful action. It encourages cultivating wholesome qualities and eliminating unwholesome ones. This teaching aligns perfectly with Saturn's energy. Saturn encourages disciplined action as a means of manifesting spiritual progress. Blind faith, while comforting, can lead to complacency and a passive approach to life. The universe is not a benevolent force that automatically fulfills desires. It is a dynamic system that responds to your intentions and actions. Consider the story of a farmer who prayed fervently for rain to nourish his crops, but he never took the time to prepare his fields. When the rains finally came, his barren land yielded nothing. This tale serves as a metaphor for the dangers of relying solely on faith without action. Similarly, during this Venus-Saturn conjunction, passively waiting for miracles without taking concrete steps will leave you unprepared. Saturn's lesson here is clear. Faith must be coupled with effort to bear fruit. The allure of effortless faith often stems from a desire to avoid discomfort. It's far easier to believe that the universe will deliver your dreams on a silver platter, confronting the challenges and sacrifices required to achieve them. However, is the true test. This mindset can create spiritual stagnation. where progress is halted by inaction. Venus's energy may lull you into a false sense of security, whispering that everything will fall into place in due time. But Saturn's presence disrupts this illusion. It demands accountability and reminds you that growth is an active process. This conjunction offers an opportunity to examine the balance between trust and effort in your life. Trusting the universe is not about relinquishing control entirely. It's about aligning your actions with your intentions and allowing the universe to meet you halfway. In Buddhist terms, this can be understood as the interplay between karma and mindfulness. Karma teaches that your actions have consequences. Mindfulness ensures that your actions are aligned with your highest aspirations. Together, these principles encourage a proactive approach to spiritual growth. One practical way to integrate this lesson is by adopting the mindset of active co-creation, rather than waiting passively for change. Take small, intentional steps each day that align with your goals. For instance, if you aspire to deepen your meditation practice, set aside a specific time each day for meditation, even if it's just 5 minutes. If you wish to improve a relationship, initiate a meaningful conversation or perform a kind gesture. These actions may seem minor, but they create momentum. They signal to the universe that you are committed to your path. In Buddhist practice, the concept of mindfulness can also help bridge the gap between faith and action. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment. It requires awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. By cultivating mindfulness, you can identify when you're falling into the trap of passive faith. You can then redirect your energy toward purposeful action. For example, if you find yourself waiting for a career opportunity to materialize, mindfulness can help. It encourages proactive steps, such as networking, updating your resume, or pursuing additional training. Another aspect to consider is the role of discomfort in personal growth. Saturn's energy often manifests as challenges or obstacles. These may feel discouraging at first. However, these difficulties are not meant to punish, but to strengthen your resilience and clarity. In Buddhist teachings, suffering is seen as a catalyst for awakening. When faced with challenges, instead of retreating into passive faith, embrace the discomfort. View it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can I use this challenge to deepen my understanding and commitment? The interplay between Venus and Saturn during this conjunction also highlights the importance of patience and persistence. Spiritual growth is not a linear process, nor is it something that can be rushed. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your efforts require time and consistency to yield results. This principle is reflected in the Buddhist practice of developing paramitas, or perfections. These include patience, diligence, and wisdom. They are cultivated over time through deliberate practice and reflection. Lastly, it's essential to reframe your understanding of success. Venus's influence may lead you to equate success with ease or external validation, but Saturn challenges you to redefine success as the fulfillment of your inner potential. Success is not measured by how effortlessly things fall into place. It is defined by how diligently you work to align your actions with your values and purpose. When you approach life with this mindset, even small victories become meaningful milestones on your journey. In summary, the illusion of effortless faith during this Venus-Saturn conjunction is a call to action. It invites you to move beyond passive waiting. Embrace the principles of right effort, mindfulness, and intentionality. By balancing trust in the universe with disciplined action, you can transform this celestial alignment. It becomes a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth and self-discovery. Remember, the universe will meet you halfway, but only if you take the first step. Saturn and Venus together during this conjunction create a unique energetic dynamic. This dynamic can blur the lines between intuition and illusion. While synchronicities often appear as guiding lights on our spiritual path, not all are imbued with divine meaning. During this alignment, the heightened energies of Venus can amplify desires. This makes us more susceptible to interpreting ordinary events as profound signs. At the same time, Saturn's grounding influence challenges us to discern. It pushes us to separate genuine guidance from projections of our inner cravings. In Buddhist teachings, Discernment is a critical aspect of wisdom, or prajna. Wisdom allows one to see things as they truly are. It frees us from the distortions of desire and attachment. When synchronicities arise, they often reflect the state of our minds. They are not necessarily objective truths about the universe. For example, if you frequently encounter the number 111, you might interpret it as a cosmic signal to leave your current job. However, this may simply be a projection of your own dissatisfaction, rather than a divinely ordained directive. Saturn's energy calls for pause and reflection. It asks us to question the validity of such interpretations. This phenomenon is closely tied to the Buddhist principle of dependent origination. This principle explains how our perceptions are shaped by a chain of causes and conditions. Our desires, fears, and expectations can create a mental lens through which we interpret events. If you are longing for a significant change, you may unconsciously seek signs to validate this yearning. While the synchronicity itself may be real, its meaning is not always as straightforward as it appears. The universe does not always communicate in absolutes. Often, it challenges us to look inward and evaluate our motivations. One way to navigate this hazy terrain is through mindfulness. By cultivating mindfulness, you develop the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions. This helps you avoid reacting immediately to them. When you notice a synchronicity, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What desires or fears might be influencing my interpretation? This practice helps you separate intuition from projection. It allows you to approach synchronicities with greater clarity and balance. Saturn's influence during this conjunction serves as a reminder to slow down. Avoid rushing to conclusions. In the same way that a skilled craftsman measures twice before cutting, you must examine the context and implications of any perceived sign before acting on it. For example, if you feel drawn to a new opportunity because of repeated symbols or patterns, reflect carefully. Consider how this decision aligns with your long-term goals and values. Are you being guided toward growth, or are you seeking an escape from discomfort? Saturn's disciplined energy encourages thoughtful decision-making. It ensures that your actions are rooted in wisdom rather than impulsivity. Journaling can be an invaluable tool for this process. By recording your experiences and reflections, you create a space to analyze synchronicities more deeply. Over time, patterns may emerge that reveal the true nature of these events. For instance, you might notice certain symbols arise during periods of stress or uncertainty. This could signal a need for inner balance rather than external change. This practice aligns with the Buddhist emphasis on self-inquiry and introspection as pathways to understanding. Another key teaching in Buddhism is the concept of emptiness, or shunyata. Emptiness does not mean that things are non-existent. Rather, it means they lack inherent, fixed meaning. Synchronicities, too, are empty in this sense. Their significance depends on the context and the observer's state of mind. Recognizing this can free you from assigning definitive meanings to every sign. Instead, you can approach synchronicities with curiosity and openness. See them as opportunities for reflection rather than directives for action. During this Venus-Saturn conjunction, be aware of how attachment shapes your perceptions. Venus's energy may amplify your longing for connection, validation, or reassurance. This makes it tempting to seek signs that confirm your desires. However, as the Buddha taught, attachment is a root cause of suffering. Clinging to a particular interpretation of a synchronicity can create expectations. These expectations may not align with reality, leading to disappointment and disillusionment. To counter this tendency, practice letting go of rigid interpretations. Embrace the fluidity of life's unfolding. Trust that the universe operates in its own time and wisdom. Often, its messages are beyond our immediate understanding. When you release the need for certainty, you create space for deeper insights to emerge. This aligns with the Buddhist practice of equanimity, or upekkha. Equanimity fosters a balanced and peaceful mind in the face of life's uncertainties. Finally, remember that not all synchronicities are benevolent. Just as there are beneficial energies, there are also chaotic forces that can distort perception. Saturn's grounding presence can help you discern whether a synchronicity is guiding you toward growth or confusion. Pay attention to how a perceived sign makes you feel. Does it inspire clarity and purpose? Or does it leave you feeling unsettled and doubtful? Trust your inner wisdom to navigate these subtle distinctions. In summary, the interplay of Saturn and Venus during this conjunction highlights the importance of discernment. By approaching synchronicities with mindfulness and self-inquiry, you can uncover deeper truths. Not every open door is meant to be walked through, and not every sign is a message from the divine. The true meaning of a synchronicity lies in the insight it inspires within you. The combined energies of Saturn and Venus during this conjunction create a potent environment. The desire for external validation can become particularly pronounced. Saturn's weight fosters a sense of responsibility and achievement. Meanwhile, Venus's charm amplifies the longing for connection and approval. Together, they can pull you into a cycle of seeking recognition from others as a measure of your worth. This often comes at the expense of your authentic self. In Buddhist teachings, the pursuit of external validation is linked to the concept of attachment. When we attach our self-worth to external factors, like praise, accomplishments, or approval, we set ourselves up for suffering. External validation is inherently impermanent and subject to change. A compliment today might be forgotten tomorrow. A social media post that garners likes now may be overshadowed by the next trending topic. Chasing these fleeting sources of validation deepens insecurity and disconnects us from our true nature. The need for external validation often stems from inadequacy or self-doubt. Perhaps you've overcommit to work projects to impress your boss. Maybe you've curated a perfect image online to gain followers. Or you've agreed to social obligations that drain your energy. These actions might bring temporary satisfaction, but they leave you feeling depleted and disconnected from your inner truth. This pattern mirrors the Buddhist teaching of dukkha, or suffering. Dukkha arises from craving and clinging to things that cannot provide lasting fulfillment. To break free from this cycle, self-awareness is essential. Ask yourself, why do I need someone else's approval? Often, the answer lies in forgetting your inherent worth. In Buddhism, the concept of Buddha nature reminds us that every being possesses wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment. Recognizing this helps shift focus from external validation to internal alignment. This fosters self-acceptance and peace. One practical way to nurture self-approval is by celebrating small wins privately. Instead of seeking applause from others, take a moment to acknowledge your efforts for yourself. For example, if you complete a challenging task at work, pause and appreciate your perseverance. This practice aligns with the Buddhist principle of mindfulness. Mindfulness encourages being present and aware without judgment. Another key practice is aligning your actions with your soul's mission. In Buddhism, this can be understood as living in accordance with your dharma, your unique purpose or path in life. When your actions align with your values and inner truth, you feel fulfilled, regardless of external recognition. For instance, if your dharma involves helping others, focus on the impact you're making. Don't seek acknowledgement for your efforts. This cultivates intrinsic motivation that is independent of external validation. The interplay of Saturn and Venus highlights the importance of setting boundaries. Venus's energy may tempt you to overextend yourself in relationships or commitments. This is often driven by a desire to please others. However, Saturn's influence offers the discipline needed to establish healthy limits. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They honor your energy and ensure your actions align with your highest good. For example, if you feel pressured to attend a social event that doesn't resonate with you, practice saying no. Do it with kindness and clarity. This act of self-respect reinforces your autonomy and worth. Mindfulness plays a transformative role in overcoming the trap of external validation. By practicing mindfulness, you observe your thoughts and emotions without attachment. When you notice a craving for approval, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what am I seeking? How can I provide that for myself? This redirection fosters a deeper connection with your true self. External validation can also impact relationships. When your self-worth depends on how others perceive you, interactions become inauthentic. You may fear rejection or feel pressure to perform. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of authentic connection. Authenticity arises from mutual respect and understanding. not a need for approval. To nurture authentic relationships, show up as your genuine self. Create space for others to do the same. It's important to recognize that seeking validation isn't inherently wrong. As social beings, we naturally seek connection and affirmation. The key lies in balancing this desire with self-awareness and self-compassion. When your worth is anchored in your inner values, it becomes stable and unshaken by external circumstances. In summary, the Venus-Saturn conjunction reminds us to look within for validation. By practicing self-approval, aligning with your soul's mission, and setting healthy boundaries, you can break free from this cycle, reconnect with your true self. Your worth isn't defined by how others perceive you. It's defined by the authenticity and integrity with which you live your life. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, you can cultivate peace and fulfillment. These transcend the need for external validation. Venus's energy during this conjunction intensifies the longing for connection and the warmth of relationships. This can be both a blessing and a challenge. While meaningful connections can provide solace and support, not all relationships serve your highest good. Some individuals, knowingly or unknowingly, may act as energy vampires. They drain your emotional and mental reserves. These dynamics often become more pronounced under the influence of this celestial alignment. It is crucial to approach your connections with discernment. In Buddhist teachings, relationships are often examined through the lens of interdependence, or pratitya samutpada. This principle highlights how all beings are interconnected, influencing and shaping one another. While this interconnectedness is beautiful, it also means that the energy of those around us can deeply affect our own state of mind. Associating with individuals who thrive on negativity, drama, or dependency can pull you away from your spiritual path. This clouds your clarity and peace. Consider the story of a woman who described her interactions with a colleague who frequently sought emotional support. Initially, these conversations felt meaningful, but over time, she noticed a pattern. The colleague's constant need for attention and reassurance left her feeling depleted. Instead of mutual support, the relationship became one-sided. Her energy was being siphoned away without replenishment. This is a classic example of how energy vampires operate. They may not have malicious intent, but their reliance on others to fulfill their emotional needs creates an imbalance. This ultimately harms both parties. From a Buddhist perspective, this dynamic reflects the concept of attachment and craving. Energy vampires often cling to others in an attempt to fill a void within themselves. Those who enable them may be driven by a desire to feel needed or valued. Both roles are rooted in samsara, the cycle of suffering perpetuated by ignorance and attachment. Breaking free from this cycle requires awareness, compassion, and the courage to set healthy boundaries. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-compassion. It is not about rejecting others, but about preserving your energy. Ensure that your relationships are rooted in mutual respect and support. To determine whether a connection is healthy, ask yourself, do I feel lighter or heavier after spending time with this person? This simple question can provide profound insights into the quality of your relationships. If an interaction consistently leaves you feeling drained or uneasy, it may be a sign that the relationship needs to be reevaluated. Boundaries can take many forms. They may involve limiting the time and energy you invest in a relationship. Sometimes, they require open and honest conversations about your needs. For example, if a friend frequently brings negativity into your interactions, you might gently express your desire to focus on uplifting topics. Alternatively, you might choose to spend less time with them while still offering kindness and understanding. The goal is not to shut people out, but to create a balance that honors both your well-being and theirs. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in managing your connections during this Venus-Saturn conjunction. By cultivating mindfulness, you can observe your interactions with greater clarity. This helps you recognize when a relationship is nourishing and when it is depleting. Mindfulness also helps you respond to energy vampires with compassion rather than frustration or resentment. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can approach these dynamics with a sense of curiosity and understanding. Ask yourself, what is driving this person's behavior? How can I maintain my boundaries while remaining compassionate? Another important aspect to consider is the quality of your own energy. Are you unintentionally acting as an energy vampire in your relationships? Buddhism teaches that self-reflection is key to personal growth. Take time to examine your interactions. Ask yourself whether you are contributing positively to your connections or relying too heavily on others for emotional support. By addressing your own patterns, you can cultivate healthier and more balanced relationships. Venus's influence during this conjunction may also heighten your sensitivity to others' energies. This makes it easier to absorb negativity or stress from those around you. To counteract this, practice grounding techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or spending time in nature. These practices help you center yourself. They strengthen your ability to navigate challenging interactions without becoming overwhelmed. Visualization can also be a powerful tool. Imagine a protective shield of light surrounding you. This shield allows positive energy and while deflecting negativity. The Buddhist teachings on the Four Noble Truths remind us that suffering is an inherent part of life, but it can be alleviated through mindful effort and the cultivation of wisdom. When faced with challenging relationships, view them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Each interaction provides a chance to practice patience, compassion, and discernment. By approaching your connections with this mindset, you can transform even the most draining relationships into valuable lessons on your spiritual journey. It is also worth noting that not all difficult relationships need to be maintained. While compassion is essential, it does not require you to tolerate harmful behavior or sacrifice your well-being. In some cases, letting go of a connection may be the most loving choice for both yourself and the other person. This aligns with the Buddhist practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment encourages us to release our clinging to people or situations that no longer serve our highest good. In summary, Venus's energy during this conjunction amplifies the desire for connection, but Saturn's grounding influence reminds us to approach our relationships with mindfulness and discernment. By setting healthy boundaries, practicing self-reflection, and prioritizing connections that uplift and inspire, you can navigate this period with grace and wisdom. Remember, your energy is sacred. Protect it fiercely. Share it with those who honor and appreciate its value. In doing so, you create space for deeper, more authentic connections that support your spiritual growth and well-being. During this Venus-Saturn conjunction, the interplay of energies can bring your inner critic to the forefront. It amplifies self-judgment and makes you acutely aware of your perceived flaws. Saturn's disciplined and exacting nature may highlight areas where you feel inadequate. Meanwhile, Venus's soothing allure may tempt you to avoid these uncomfortable feelings. You might turn to distractions such as indulgence, escapism, or denial. However, ignoring your inner critic only strengthens its hold over you. It traps you in cycles of doubt and fear. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of mindfulness offers a powerful antidote. Mindfulness means being fully present and aware without judgment. When self-critical thoughts arise, do not push them away. Do not become consumed by them. Instead, mindfulness encourages you to observe these thoughts with curiosity and compassion. This practice aligns with the Buddhist principle of right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is one of the Eightfold Path's core tenets. It cultivates awareness of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as they arise. Your inner critic is not your enemy. Rather, it is a neglected teacher. It points to areas of your life that may require attention, healing, or growth. For example, your inner critic may tell you that you are not good enough. This could reflect underlying feelings of inadequacy. These feelings may stem from past experiences or unmet expectations. By confronting this voice with compassion, you can uncover the root causes. You can begin to address them. This process mirrors the Buddhist practice of self-inquiry. Self-inquiry involves investigating the nature of your thoughts and beliefs. It helps you gain deeper insight into yourself. Engaging in shadow work is a transformative way to work with your inner critic. Shadow work involves exploring the parts of yourself that you have suppressed or rejected. These shadow aspects often manifest as self-criticism, fear, or shame. To begin shadow work, sit quietly and invite your inner critic to speak. Ask it, "What are you trying to teach me? What do you need from me?" Approach this dialogue with openness and non-judgment. Allow the answers to emerge naturally. One of the Buddha's most profound teachings is the understanding of suffering, or dukkha. The inner critic's harsh judgments can be a form of dukkha. They perpetuate a sense of dissatisfaction and unworthiness. Through mindful awareness and compassionate inquiry, you can transform these judgments. You can turn them into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. For instance, when your inner critic tells you that you're not successful enough, pause. Use this moment to reflect on your definition of success. Is it aligned with your values and true aspirations? Or is it shaped by societal expectations and external pressures? Another essential practice in working with the inner critic is self-compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is seen as a fundamental quality of the awakened mind. Extend this compassion not only to others, but also to yourself. When self-critical thoughts arise, do not harshly judge yourself for having them. Instead, offer yourself kindness and understanding. Acknowledge that these thoughts are part of the human experience. You are not alone in facing them. This practice can be as simple as placing a hand on your heart and saying, "It's okay. I'm doing my best." Venus's energy during this conjunction offers an opportunity to balance Saturn's stern influence. While Saturn pushes you to confront your inner critic, Venus invites you to do so with love. Together, these energies create a dynamic space for transformation. By integrating Saturn's discipline with Venus's compassion, you can turn self-judgment into self-awareness. You can turn self-doubt into self-empowerment. Practical tools can also support this inner work. Journaling, for instance, is a powerful way to engage with your inner critic. Write down the thoughts and feelings that arise when you hear its voice. Then, respond to these thoughts from the perspective of your higher self. For example, if your inner critic says, "You're not smart enough to achieve your goals," write this: "I am capable and resilient. I have overcome challenges before. I trust in my ability to grow and learn." This practice helps you reframe self-critical thoughts. It strengthens your connection to your inner wisdom. Meditation is another valuable tool for working with the inner critic. Practices such as loving-kindness meditation, or metta, can help you cultivate compassion. Begin by directing kind and supportive thoughts toward yourself. Say, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace." Gradually extend these wishes to others. Include those who challenge you or whom you criticize. This practice fosters a sense of interconnectedness. It reduces the intensity of self-judgment. It is also helpful to recognize the impermanent nature of thoughts and emotions. In Buddhism, the principle of anicca, or impermanence, teaches that all phenomena arise and pass away. When you notice your inner critic's voice, remind yourself that it is temporary. It does not define who you are. This perspective creates space for equanimity rather than reactivity. Finally, remember that self-awareness and transformation are not about achieving perfection. They are about cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself. The inner critic may never disappear entirely, but its voice can become a guide rather than a hindrance. Approach it with mindfulness and compassion. Each time you engage with your inner critic in this way, you take a step closer to wisdom and peace that lie at the heart of Buddhist practice. In summary, Saturn's energy during this Venus-Saturn conjunction provides a powerful opportunity. It allows you to confront your inner critic and transform self-judgment into self-awareness. By engaging in shadow work, you can explore and address hidden aspects of yourself. Practicing self-compassion helps to foster kindness and understanding toward your own flaws. Using tools such as journaling and meditation allows you to deepen your self-understanding. These practices create space for growth and healing. Remember, your inner critic is not your enemy. It is a neglected teacher, guiding you toward greater self-acceptance. Ultimately, it leads to profound spiritual transformation. The Venus-Saturn conjunction intensifies spiritual energy. It creates a heightened state of awareness and magnetism. This amplified energy can attract both supportive and disruptive forces. It makes spiritual vulnerability a critical aspect to navigate during this period. While guides, ancestors, and protectors may offer their wisdom and support, chaotic or malevolent entities might seek to exploit your moments of doubt. fear, or overconfidence. Recognizing and managing this vulnerability is essential for maintaining spiritual harmony and resilience. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of mindfulness is key. Mindfulness means being fully present and aware of your internal and external environment. By cultivating mindfulness, you develop the ability to recognize shifts in your energy. You can discern whether these shifts are influenced by positive or negative forces. For instance, if you experience a sudden wave of exhaustion or anxiety, or unexplainable emotional outbursts, this could be an indication of an energetic disturbance or attack. Mindfulness allows you to pause, observe, and address these experiences with clarity rather than reaction. One of the Buddha's teachings on protecting the mind involves the practice of right effort. Right effort entails preventing unwholesome states from arising. It also means abandoning unwholesome states that have arisen. You cultivate wholesome states and maintain them. Applying this principle to spiritual vulnerability means actively working to fortify your energy field. At the same time, you address any disturbances that arise. Visualization techniques are helpful here. Imagine a protective shield of light surrounding you. This shield is permeable to positive energy but impervious to negativity. It reinforces your spiritual defenses without shutting out beneficial influences. The heightened sensitivity during this conjunction also calls for grounding practices. Grounding helps anchor your energy in the present moment. It creates stability and resilience against external influences. In Buddhist teachings, grounding is similar to the practice of sitting meditation. You focus on your breath and body to cultivate a sense of rootedness. To ground yourself effectively, consider simple practices. Walk barefoot on the earth. Engage in deep breathing exercises. Try mindful body scans. These activities reconnect you with your physical being. They provide the stability needed to navigate spiritual challenges. The importance of discernment cannot be overstated during this time. Not every spiritual experience or entity that appears during this conjunction has your best interests at heart. The Buddha's teachings emphasize the need for clear understanding, or samadhi. This involves seeing things as they truly are. When encountering spiritual messages, signs, or entities, take time to evaluate their nature and intentions. Ask yourself, does this presence bring clarity and peace, or does it create confusion and unease? Trust your intuition and apply wisdom to discern these forces. This is a vital step in protecting your energy. The practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation, is also a powerful tool. By generating feelings of compassion and goodwill, you create an energetic field that naturally repels negativity. Begin by directing loving-kindness toward yourself. Repeat phrases such as, "May I be safe," "May I be happy," "May I be free from suffering." Gradually extend these wishes to loved ones, acquaintances, and even those who challenge you. This practice strengthens your spiritual resilience. It transforms your energy into a beacon of positivity. It is also important to recognize the role of fear in spiritual vulnerability. Fear often acts as a doorway for chaotic or disruptive forces to enter your energetic field. In Buddhist teachings, fear is seen as a manifestation of ignorance. It arises from misunderstanding the true nature of reality. When you feel fear, instead of resisting it, bring mindful awareness to the sensation. Investigate its origin. Explore what it is trying to teach you. By confronting fear with curiosity and compassion, you can transform it into a source of strength and insight. Another aspect to consider is the importance of community in navigating spiritual vulnerability. The Buddha emphasized the value of the Sangha, or spiritual community. This serves as a source of support and guidance. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your commitment to spiritual growth. These connections offer encouragement, perspective, and shared practices. They strengthen your resilience against negative influences. Practical rituals can enhance your spiritual defenses. Smudge your space with sage or palo santo. Use protective crystals like black tourmaline or obsidian. Chant protective mantras. When combined with mindfulness and grounding, these practices create a comprehensive approach to spiritual protection. Lastly, remember that your spiritual vulnerability is not a weakness. It is an invitation for growth and deeper understanding. The challenges you face during this conjunction are opportunities. They help strengthen your spiritual foundation. They develop greater awareness of your energy and its interactions with the world. By embracing these experiences with mindfulness, compassion, and discernment, you transform vulnerability into empowerment. In summary, the Venus-Saturn conjunction amplifies spiritual energy. It makes protecting and managing your energetic field essential. Through mindfulness, grounding, discernment, and community, you can navigate this heightened sensitivity with wisdom and resilience. Trust in your inner strength. Rely on the guidance of your spiritual practices to carry you through this transformative period. The Venus-Saturn conjunction brings an intriguing dynamic. Venus's allure of ease and charm can tempt you with promises of instant spiritual breakthroughs. Meanwhile, Saturn's grounding influence reminds you that true growth requires effort, patience, and consistency. This tension can create a longing for quick fixes or miraculous transformations. But as Buddhist teachings emphasize, the path to enlightenment is neither rushed nor superficial. It unfolds naturally through deliberate and sustained practice. In the modern spiritual landscape, retreats or workshops often promise rapid enlightenment or instant healing. While these experiences may offer temporary inspiration, they rarely deliver lasting transformation. Consider the story of a seeker who attended a retreat promising enlightenment in just 3 days. Initially, the experience felt profound, filled with rituals and heightened awareness. However, upon returning to daily life, the seeker realized something was missing. The retreat hadn't provided tools to sustain that state of mind. This disillusionment often occurs when quick progress overshadows steady effort. Buddhist philosophy teaches the value of gradual cultivation over instant gratification. The Eightfold Path, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, outlines a methodical approach to spiritual development. Each element, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, takes time and dedication. This contrasts sharply with the Venusian desire for shortcuts and immediate results. The allure of quick progress often comes from avoiding the discomfort of growth. Venus's charm whispers that there's an easier way, but Saturn demands discipline and hard work. True liberation, as the Buddha taught, arises from confronting discomfort with mindfulness and equanimity. Sitting with discomfort, observing it, and learning from it is essential to spiritual maturation. Patience is a critical quality in Buddhist teachings, known as kshanti, or forbearance. It helps you stay steadfast in practice, even when progress feels slow. This is particularly important during the Venus-Saturn conjunction. It reminds you to trust that each small step contributes to deeper transformation. Grounding practices are invaluable during this time. They help resist the pull of shortcuts and stay rooted in sustainable growth. Meditation is one of the most effective tools for grounding. Dedicating time daily to stillness and breath creates a stable foundation for your journey. Mindfulness anchors you in reality. It prevents you from getting lost in fantasies of instant enlightenment. Acts of kindness and compassion, or metta, are another way to foster steady progress. Each small act of kindness develops a compassionate heart. Whether it's offering a kind word, volunteering, or listening deeply, these actions reinforce your spiritual path. The allure of quick progress often comes from misunderstanding spiritual growth. In Buddhism, enlightenment is not a destination but a state of being. It unfolds gradually through continuous practice. This perspective shifts focus from outcomes to embracing the journey itself. Venus's influence may also lead to comparisons with others. This can fuel feelings of inadequacy or urgency to catch up. But the Buddha reminds us that each journey is unique, shaped by karma and effort. Comparing yourself to others creates unnecessary suffering. It distracts you from your own growth. Instead, celebrate each small step toward greater awareness and understanding. A practical way to navigate the Venus-Saturn tension is to set realistic and meaningful goals for your spiritual practice. For example, instead of aiming for enlightenment within a specific time frame, commit to meditating for 10 minutes each day, or read a passage from a spiritual text each morning. These small, consistent actions build momentum. They lay the foundation for deeper transformation over time. Another important aspect of resisting the allure of quick progress is cultivating self-compassion. Recognize that growth is a process. It involves setbacks, plateaus, and moments of doubt. Rather than judging yourself for not progressing as quickly as you'd like, offer yourself kindness and encouragement. Remember that even the Buddha faced challenges and doubts on his path to enlightenment. These experiences are an integral part of the journey. Finally, it is essential to balance effort with surrender. While Saturn encourages discipline and persistence, Venus invites you to trust in the natural unfolding of the universe. This balance reflects the Buddhist teaching of the middle way. The middle way avoids the extremes of overexertion and passivity. By combining intentional effort with a sense of trust and surrender, you create a harmonious approach to spiritual growth. This approach honors both the discipline of Saturn and the grace of Venus. In summary, the Venus-Saturn conjunction highlights the tension between the allure of quick, spiritual progress and the reality of steady, deliberate growth. By embracing patience, grounding practices, acts of kindness, and self-compassion, you can navigate this dynamic with wisdom and resilience. Trust in the process. Remember that true transformation arises not from shortcuts but from consistent, mindful effort. This effort shapes your spiritual journey. As Saturn and Venus conclude their celestial dance, we are reminded that spiritual growth is a continuous journey. It is not a final destination. This conjunction, with its challenges and opportunities, encourages us to embrace awareness, resilience, and authenticity. From identifying indulgences to setting boundaries with energy-draining relationships, these trials are not obstacles. They are invitations to deepen our understanding and align with our higher selves. The wisdom shared here is just the beginning. Spiritual growth flourishes through connection and conversation. So, let's keep the dialogue alive. Have you encountered any of the 8 pitfalls we discussed? How are you navigating the energies of this powerful conjunction? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Your perspective could inspire someone else. If this video has resonated with you or provided clarity, show your support by liking it, sharing this content with friends, family, or anyone on their spiritual path can create a ripple effect of growth and understanding. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you meaningful, uplifting content. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Luminous Vein and join a community of seekers exploring the mysteries of the cosmos. Uncover practical spiritual wisdom together. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Trust me, there's so much more to discover together. As we wrap up, remember, the universe's greatest lessons often come through its most challenging moments. This Saturn and Venus conjunction isn't here to block you. It is here to guide you toward growth and alignment. Approach this time with mindfulness, patience, and compassion. Trust that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your true self. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. Stay grounded, stay inspired, and remember, the light you seek has always been within you. Until next time, take care. See you in the next video.